We're going to start off tonight by taking a look at loading Oracle scripts. Lee had asked me a question last week if he could get a copy of the database to put on his computer at home to work with it. That was a good question because this week is chapter 4, and in creating tables and adding data to those tables, we're going to look at how you would create a script file. So I wanted to give you just a quick little 5 or 10-minute presentation on how all this works and why some of the things are done the way they're done. If you go in and you take a look at your vSphere machine and you look at the C drive root directory, you'll see a folder called Spool, S-P-O-L-L, right here. And that is a tradition and a throwback to the old days when all of our data was streamed to us on tape. And so they referred to it as a spool file because it came off of the reel of tape. All right. So when I teach Oracle, I kind of continue that tradition, and anything that we're going to load into Oracle or store as a script file, I put in a spool file on the C root directory. Now, there's another reason for doing that. Later on, you'll see that we're going to have to identify exactly where this script code for Oracle lives. It's a lot easier to write C colon backslash spool backslash and the file name than trying to go through 4 or 5 different iterations of some folder hidden in my documents somewhere. So there are a couple reasons to create it. Inside the spool folder, if you take a look on your vSphere machine, you'll see several different sets of SQL files that actually load our databases and will load the database that we'll be using from the Census Bureau. Which reminds me, how many of you are going to be in the advanced database class? Everybody that's here tonight. All right. We may delay doing the census file so I can cover an extra chapter or two, and then I have planned to redo the census database and load all 500 million records. So I think we'll do that. So that'll give you a little more insight into what's going on with Oracle. But these are some of the scripts that are used to load the information as we have it on our computers right now in Oracle. This is a preparation file that is run before we run the actual data load for our SQL fundamentals file. And a couple of things I want to point out on this, and we'll actually get into writing some scripts a little bit later this semester, but just like in SQL Developer, we use double dashes to indicate comments. And you might want to put information in there about when the file was created, who created it, any information that you can. You'll notice right below that are our first set of Oracle commands. And we're going in and we're saying drop table L under bar employees cascade. We'll look at that in a little more detail later on, but the question might cross your mind, well, why are we dropping a table if it's already there? And that's just a process that we use in Oracle to make sure that that table is not there and that we are going to create a clean instance of that table. You'll find out later on tonight, and I'll repeat it periodically through the class. When you do a drop table, there is no recovery in Oracle. The table and all the data are gone.
Well, pray to the database administrator?
You might be able to pray to the database administrator, but I've seen twice where the database administrator went, uh-oh. So just make sure when you give a drop table that you're ready to drop the table. The same is true, we'll look at how you get rid of a column in an Oracle table. And once you delete that column and all the information in it are gone forever. I'll tell you about an event that happened over at Tinker with the database from hell a little bit later. This is actually our create statement, and we'll go into detail on it tonight. But again, we can create this statement as a script and run it on any computer we want to run it on that recognizes our Oracle database. And you can see very quickly here we have an entity called housing, and then these attributes describe the housing. Now you may notice something very unique about this. Every attribute in this housing file is a number, and with extremely large databases you use numbers to represent values, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the advanced database. But right now, just accept the fact that we're using numbers to represent some value in the program. Question. The question was, if you're dropping the housing table and it's not there, will it cause any problems? If you were watching it happen on the screen, it would show you an error, but it would continue to the next event. Okay? Once we have the housing table created, or in this case, the L_bar employee table, now we can start to load data into that table. And we'll start looking at that tonight and finish it up a little bit later. But what you're seeing right here where it says insert into L_bar employees values is the first entity instance in that table of L_bar employees. And what we're doing is we're loading the data exactly as the columns are listed in that table. So we don't have to identify what attribute our values have to go to.
No kidding, that's not user-friendly.
No, but what did we say at the beginning, Faith?
They hate users.
Oracle hates you. They hate Bill Gates more, but Oracle hates us.
No kidding.
All databases are like that.
All the good ones are, yes. They are all very much like this. But once you get used to it, you'll realize this is really a quick and easy way to enter data. Because I can take this data from an Excel spreadsheet, tell Excel either using a tab delineation or using a quick macro that I've written several years ago, I can set up my insert statements and run them very, very quickly. So yes, it looks ugly and it looks unuser friendly. Once you get used to it and you realize Oracle really does hate me, then it's not so bad.